Furious, Chief Obinna disowned her and sent her packing. "You have brought shame to this family, Chioma. Leave my house and never return," he thundered. In the bustling city of Lagos, Chioma was known for her beauty, intelligence, and wealth. Her father, Chief Obinna, was one of the richest men in the city, owning multiple businesses and properties. Chioma had grown up in luxury, never wanting for anything. She was the apple of her father's eye, and he had great plans for her future. But Chioma's heart had other plans. Despite her father's warnings, Chioma had fallen in love with a street boy named Kano. Kano was charming and street-smart, but he was also cunning and opportunistic. He saw Chioma as a ticket to a life of ease and luxury. Chioma, blinded by love, believed every word he said and spent lavishly on him. Kano often fabricated urgent situations, needing large sums of money, and Chioma would give him whatever he asked for without hesitation. One evening, Kano called Chioma in a panic. "Chioma, my sister is very sick," Kano said, his voice trembling. "I need 500,000 naira to get her to the hospital immediately." Chioma, her heart filled with concern, transferred the money to Kano without a second thought. She didn't question the authenticity of his claim, trusting him completely. A few weeks later, Kano called again, this time with an even more desperate plea. "Chioma, I got into a car accident," he said, sounding distressed. "The other driver is demanding 700,000 naira to fix his car, or he'll take me to the police." Chioma rushed to his aid, transferring the money right away. She believed Kano's story and wanted to do everything she could to help him. Little did she know that Kano was using the money for his own indulgences, not the emergencies he claimed. The final straw came when Kano called her late at night, his voice filled with urgency. "Chioma, I've been arrested," he said. "The police are asking for 1 million naira for my bail. Please, you have to help me." Chioma, overwhelmed with worry, transferred the money immediately. She didn't even think to verify his story, so deep was her trust in him. Each time she gave him money, her love and concern grew, while Kano's deceit deepened. One day, Chioma found out she was pregnant. Overjoyed, she rushed to Kano's ghetto area to share the news, expecting him to be thrilled. Instead, she was met with hostility and disbelief. "Kano, I'm pregnant," she exclaimed, her eyes shining with happiness. Kano's expression turned cold. "What do you mean, pregnant? That can't be my child." Chioma's heart sank. "Of course it's yours, Kano. We can raise this child together." He sneered. "Get out of here, Chioma. I want nothing to do with you or your child. If I see you again, you'll regret it." Stunned and heartbroken, Chioma stumbled out of Kano's ghetto area, tears streaming down her face. She returned home, hoping for comfort, but her father had found out about her pregnancy and Kano's betrayal. Furious, Chief Obinna disowned her and sent her packing. "You have brought shame to this family, Chioma. Leave my house and never return," he thundered. Desolate and alone, Chioma turned to her best friend, Juliet, who took her in. Juliet's home became a sanctuary for Chioma as she prepared to face motherhood on her own. Living with Juliet was a stark contrast to the life Chioma had known. Juliet's family was middle class, and while they were comfortable, they did not live in the luxury Chioma was used to. Nevertheless, Juliet and her family welcomed her with open arms. Chioma's pregnancy progressed, and she slowly adjusted to her new reality. Juliet's brother, Emeka, was studying abroad and was unaware of the new addition to their household. When he returned home for a break, he was surprised to find Chioma living with them. Emeka had always admired Chioma from afar and was eager to get to know her better. "Welcome back, Emeka," Chioma greeted him with a warm smile. Thank you, Chioma. It's good to see you, Emeka replied, his eyes lingering on her for a moment longer than usual. Over time, Emeka and Chioma grew close. He was kind and supportive, helping her with anything she needed. They spent long hours talking, sharing their dreams and fears. Emeka's presence was a source of comfort for Chioma, and she found herself smiling more often. Juliet, however, began to feel a pang of jealousy. She had always been close to her brother, and seeing him spend so much time with Chioma made her feel left out. Emeka, you never have time for me anymore, Juliet complained one evening. Juliet, you know I care about you. But Chioma needs our support right now, Emeka replied gently. Juliet's jealousy continued to grow, and she started to resent Chioma's presence in their home. The tension between the two friends began to mount, leading to frequent arguments. One afternoon, as Chioma was resting in her room, she overheard Juliet and Emeka arguing in the living room. Why are you always defending her, Emeka? She's not even part of our family. Juliet shouted. Juliet, calm down. Chioma is going through a difficult time. We need to be there for her, Emeka responded calmly. Juliet scoffed. You're only saying that because you're in love with her. Emeka was taken aback. Juliet, that's not true. I'm just trying to help. Chioma felt a pang of guilt as she listened to the argument. She never wanted to come between Juliet and her brother. That evening, she tried to talk to Juliet. Juliet, I don't want to cause any trouble between you and Emeka. Maybe I should find another place to stay, Chioma suggested. Juliet's expression softened. No, Chioma. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have taken my frustrations out on you. It's just hard seeing Emeka so close to someone else. Chioma nodded, understanding Juliet's feelings. I appreciate everything you've done for me, Juliet. I don't want to cause any more problems. Despite their conversation, the tension remained. Emeka noticed the strain between the two women and tried to mediate, but it was clear that things were far from resolved. As Chioma's pregnancy advanced, the strain in the household intensified. Juliet's jealousy and resentment grew more apparent, leading to frequent clashes between her and Chioma. One morning, while Emeka was out running errands, Juliet confronted Chioma in the kitchen. You think you can just waltz in here and take over my family, don't you? Juliet snapped. Chioma, taken aback, tried to stay calm. Juliet, I'm not trying to take over anything. I'm just trying to make the best of my situation. Juliet's eyes flashed with anger. You think I don't see the way Emeka looks at you? You've bewitched him, Chioma. He barely spends time with me anymore because of you. Chioma's heart ached at the accusation. Juliet, Emeka is just being kind. We are friends, that's all. Friends. Juliet scoffed. You're trying to steal my brother away from me. I won't let you. The argument escalated, and just as it seemed it would come to blows, Emeka walked in. What's going on here? Emeka demanded, looking between the two women. Your precious Chioma is trying to turn you against me, Juliet spat. Emeka sighed, rubbing his temples. Juliet, that's not true. Chioma is going through a tough time, and she needs our support. Juliet stormed out of the room, leaving Emeka and Chioma standing in awkward silence. Emeka turned to Chioma, his expression softening. I'm sorry, Chioma. Juliet is she's having a hard time adjusting. Chioma nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. I understand, Emeka. I don't want to cause any more trouble. Emeka reached out and gently wiped away her tears. You're not causing trouble, Chioma. You're family now, and we take care of our own. One evening, Juliet invited Chioma to join her for dinner at a nearby restaurant. Chioma, eager to mend their friendship, agreed. As they were about to leave, Juliet's phone rang. "Hello, Dad," Juliet answered, her voice sweet and affectionate. Chioma froze. She recognized the voice on the other end of the line. It was Chief Obina, her father. Juliet ended the call and turned to Chioma, her face pale. "Chioma, I need to tell you something," Juliet began hesitantly. Chioma's heart pounded in her chest. "What is it, Juliet?" Juliet took a deep breath. "I've been seeing your father. We're in a relationship." Chioma's world came crashing down. She felt a wave of betrayal and anger. "How could you, Juliet? You knew what he did to me, and yet you still..." Juliet's eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry, Chioma. I didn't plan for this to happen. It just did. Please, forgive me." Chioma was speechless. She stormed out of the house, unable to process what she had just learned. She wandered the streets, her mind racing. She couldn't believe the two people she trusted the most had betrayed her. When she returned to Juliet's home, she found Emeka waiting for her. "Chioma, what happened? Where did you go?" Chioma looked at him, her eyes filled with pain. "Juliet, she's in a relationship with my father." Emeka was stunned. "What? Are you sure?" Chioma nodded, tears streaming down her face. "She admitted it to me. I don't know what to do." Emeka pulled her into a comforting embrace. "We'll figure this out together, Chioma. You're not alone." The next morning, Chioma confronted Juliet. "How long has this been going on, Juliet?" Juliet looked away, unable to meet Chioma's gaze. "A few months. I never meant for it to happen, Chioma. Please believe me." Chioma's voice trembled with anger. "You knew what he did to me, and yet you still chose to be with him. How could you?" Juliet began to cry. "I'm sorry, Chioma. I love him. I didn't want to hurt you." The confrontation was interrupted by the arrival of Chief Obina. He walked in, surprised to see Chioma there. "Chioma, what are you doing here?" he asked, his voice stern. Chioma glared at him. "I could ask you the same thing, father. How could you betray me like this?" Chief Obina's face hardened. "You brought this upon yourself, Chioma. You disobeyed me and brought shame to our family." Emeka stepped forward, his expression fierce. "Chief Obina, you've hurt Chioma enough. It's time for you to leave." Chief Obina sneered. "And who are you to tell me what to do?" Emeka stood his ground. "I'm the man who loves your daughter. And I won't let you hurt her anymore." Chief Obina's eyes widened in shock. "Love her? She's nothing but a disgrace." Chioma felt a surge of courage. "No, father. I made mistakes, but I'm not a disgrace. I'm strong, and I won't let you or anyone else bring me down." Chief Obina's expression softened for a moment, then he turned and left without another word. The room fell silent, the tension palpable. Juliet approached Chioma, her voice trembling. "Please, Chioma. Forgive me. I never wanted to hurt you." Chioma looked at her, her heart heavy with conflicting emotions. "I don't know if I can, Juliet. But I need time to think." As the months passed, Emeka and Chioma's relationship grew stronger. Emeka's unwavering support and love gave Chioma the strength to move forward. They spent more time together, sharing their dreams and planning for the future. One evening, as they sat in the garden, Emeka took Chioma's hand. "Chioma, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you and your child. Will you marry me?" Chioma's heart swelled with joy. Yes, Emeka. I love you too. Their engagement brought a sense of hope and happiness that had been missing for so long. They began planning their wedding, excited for the future they would build together. Meanwhile, Juliet struggled with her own guilt and remorse. She knew she had hurt Chioma deeply, and she was determined to make amends. One afternoon, she approached Chioma with a letter. Chioma, I wrote this for you. It's an apology and an explanation. Please read it, Juliet said, her voice filled with sincerity. Chioma took the letter, her emotions mixed. I'll read it, Juliet. But it will take time for me to forgive you. Juliet nodded, understanding. Thank you, Chioma. I hope one day we can be friends again. As the wedding day approached, Chioma felt a sense of peace and happiness she hadn't felt in a long time. Surrounded by loved ones, she and Emeka exchanged vows, promising to love and support each other for the rest of their lives. Their wedding was a beautiful celebration of love, resilience, and new beginnings. Chioma felt a deep sense of gratitude for the journey she had been on, knowing that every challenge had led her to this moment. With Emeka by her side, Chioma was ready to face whatever the future held. Their love was a beacon of hope, shining brightly amidst the trials and tribulations they had endured. As they danced under the stars, Chioma whispered to Emeka, "Thank you for loving me, Emeka. I couldn't have done this without you." Emeka smiled, his eyes filled with love. "We did this together, Chioma. And we'll face whatever comes next together too." A few months after their wedding, Chioma went into labor. Emeka was by her side, holding her hand through the pain. Their child, a beautiful baby girl, was born healthy and strong. Emeka looked at his daughter with tears in his eyes, grateful for the second chance at happiness. "Thank you, Chioma," Emeka whispered, holding her close. "For everything." Chioma smiled, feeling the warmth of their new family. "We did it together, Emeka. This is our new beginning." Their story became a lesson in resilience, love, and the power of true forgiveness. Emeka and Chioma's journey was not easy, but it led them to a place of deep understanding and unbreakable bond. The scars of the past were healed with time, and their love flourished, bringing them closer than ever. In the end, Emeka and Chioma built a happy home filled with laughter, love, and the joy of their growing family. The trials they faced only made their love stronger, proving that true happiness comes from overcoming challenges together.